It's a locked locker. No dice.
Unsound Mind is a first-person horror game developed by Recreate Stuff, published by Modus Games, and was released on September 28, 2021. There are plenty of first-person horror games, and only a few of them really make a substantial mark in the video game market of an ever-expansive sea of entertainment. It's hard for a horror game to distinguish itself from others when there's only so much you can do, thrills to experience, and tropes to follow. Unsound Mind may follow the path of similar conventions, but it does so in a solid and appealing way that makes it stand out from the pack.
Trust me, as a fellow cat person, once you get one of those, society has zero expectations for you.
Desmond Wales is a psychiatrist that has helped many people during his time as a doctor. One day, he wakes up in the basement of a hotel with no memory. Making his way through the twisted and bending building, he finds out that he is seemingly being haunted by some incorporeal figure. Desmond finds some recorded tapes of past patients and has to relive moments of the past and conflicted traumas to solve what is actually happening to his environment and the recorded patients, while also finding some closure of his achievements and dead ends.
How am I supposed to show the court I've got my life together if I ain't got no job for no real reason? I've a good mind to go back to the quarry and have a nice long chat with those Meyer folk.
The story is paced out nicely and stays interesting the entire way through the game. Multiple mysteries boil to the surface, and by completing the levels, reading notes, and paying attention to environmental storytelling, you decipher the perplexing tale. It can be a little on the nose at times, with the game over-explaining some things at points, but the incentive to keep pushing never diminishes. The voice acting can be a bit cheesy, but it makes everything more endearing and makes you care about the characters quite easily. The story feels dire to Desmond, and since he is likable, it feels important to you, the player. Unsound Mind is a first-person game and has the main elements of what makes a first-person shooter, like having a flashlight and a pistol and being able to crouch and run. But Unsound Mind has some other cool mechanics. One of the main components in Desmond's arsenal is the Mirror Shard. The Mirror Shard is a weapon and a utility item. It can be used to melee enemies, and when held up, you can see what is behind you. This is also a way for you to see hidden or useful items around you. The enemies you'll be facing are known as the Ink Blot, creatures that belch from the shadows and attack you on sight. You can take a stealthy approach and make your way around them, or attack them head-on. They come in different forms, like the long-range spitters and the powerful brutes. The main antagonist, Agent Rainbow, is a malevolent and evil force, but remains snarky and continuously presses you in your endeavors. Boss fights are compelling and keep you on your toes. The gunplay and movement to defeat your combatants feel smooth and balances nicely with exploring and completing puzzles.
You're responsible for this.
Each level in the game comes with a gimmick. They are based on the patients and their disturbances that are perplexing them. In one level, consuming pills makes you run faster, and in another level, you have to stay hidden from the light. The puzzles in the game make a good use of your items and thinking power, and it feels rewarding when you finally complete them. The variety that is dispersed in the game provides a lot of different gameplay moments, which mixed with horror moments demands you to always be aware. There are some smart jump scares and moments of dread that are amusing, as well as some good comical beats that will have you chuckling. The OST of Unsound Mind is done by The Living Tombstone, and they provide a nice diversity with their tracks. The circumstances and intention of the music is appreciated, but it's also something that is hard to recommend solely based on your taste of music. Sound design works wonderfully, with this being a horror game dealing with the human psyche and state of mind. Quiet whispers erupt beside you, and crackling shrieks reap the depths of the unknown.
I can't carry. I'll come back for this if I need it.
Sound Mind had an abundance of game-breaking bugs and odd glitches, but they have mostly all been patched out. I experienced some moments that hindered my progress, like getting stuck on objects and doors not opening, but nothing incredibly infuriating. Sound Mind also suffers from hiccups where the game has trouble loading and funny graphical bugs. The horror elements are also never really truly scary, but more on the anxiety-riddled energetic side. The game could have dug deeper with the horror with what they have in the subject matter, but it never crosses that line, which I think could have made it stand out more and some of the revelations pack a bigger punch. The game feels great to play and the controls are responsive. Sound Mind looks good graphically and has an absorbing art style that is fully realized by the environment and frighteningly shown with the ink-blot enemies. The inventive power-ups and boss fights make the game fun and addicting, even though the game can be daunting with screeching creatures and bellowing monsters. The fearful atmosphere is almost welcoming because of the great cast of characters and intriguing story. Sound Mind does have some problems with odd glitches, and the game may not be as scary as you want it to be. The game doesn't cross any new bridges with its mechanics or the horror tropes it lays out, but what Sound Mind does do is maintain a fun atmosphere that is satisfying to explore and tells a solid tale that is riveting to the end. I give Sound Mind a 7.5 out of 10.